Take care. All right, I'm just okay. We're gonna get started. So first of all, last week has been an interesting week. We had some decent moves, and I was also talking to some of you who are here in the office and in the grad club, and there is something that is a little bit concerning. And what I want from you, or the way that what I suggest to you guys, is the structural points that we identify and the significant points that we identify, they need to be in your radar screen. They have to be, the long point and the short point has to be in your radar screen. And the moment one of them is triggered, you need to be on top of the one that's giving you that signal, either to buy it or to sell it. We are not, this is the key for us to make money in this market. Like something like the euro, below 138.36, you must be short from 138.36. Even if you missed it and now you're short from 137 instead of 138.36, you're still up 200 points. The same thing as the pound, from 159.80. You should be short from 159.80. Why do you miss all these opportunities, and then we want to trade the intraday and we're missing the big fish, we're missing the big money? So let's make sure, and if you have any question during the day, or you have any question while we are in the trading room in the morning or whatever, just let us know. I mean, if so this is how, I mean, if you took those trades from last week, the minimum number of pips that either of us would have been made is at least a couple of thousand pips. I'm talking $2,000. If you're taking one regular contract, it'll be up 20 grand. This is a lot of money to be left on the table. So you have a question in the session, ask it, whatever, but take the trades that are going, especially now, for example, the euro yen, the euro with the decline that's happening in the euro market, in the eurozone. You need to be short the euro. I mean, there's no other reason to do anything else. Hi, John. All right, so let's start our work. I said my keys, so let's take first the dollar, and as you see, the dollar closed the week at 78.25. We had a big sell-off in the dollar on Friday, and then it began to turn around towards the end of the session, and now it closed, as I said, at 78.25. That spike down and coming up is a positive setup, and it is an indication, a buy signal on the euro, on the pound, on the dollar, I'm sorry. And if the dollar, I mean, you see this move that we had here from the 73 or the 74.50, and then we came up all the way down to the 80, pulling back, stopping at the significant point at 75.23. This is a normal pullback, and now it should be going up. So as far as it's above the 76.57, then it is still a buy, and the trend is still intact to the upside. And what we want now is a continuation. The first sign of a continuation is what we have over here, this candlestick, this tail end. and we should be looking at again for a continuation to the upside. And we do here have a buy signal. What we have on the that candles is, again, you had initially a sell signal which turned into a buy signal because it went below the previous day's low and then it came back above them. So this is a buy signal for us. And as you see, guys, I'm using multi-charts today. So I want to see the weekly chart. Look at the weekly chart. I mean, that is a really a good strong close for the week. And once we change the time frame from the daily to the weekly, the picture has completely changed. So that is your confirmation that the dollar should continue higher this coming week, and it is again. So you want to be buying the dollar. In this case, the dollar is strong. So the next currency that I am going to look at is the Australian dollar. Just populating my radar screen. I'm just learning the new symbols. Okay, so okay, that is the Australian dollar. It's part of the learning curve. So this is the Australian dollar. I'm just removing these lines because I want you to be working with me, setting up your radar screen and your charts like this, like I'm doing it now. Now we know that the Australian dollar, we had I don't know what the QF7. Okay, so for the Australian dollar, we had the 103 from last week. That was our based on the index is the 102.83, and based again, and if you look at the so our low here is 102.81, and we are now, the Australian dollar is quite weak. We have a close of the week at 99.71. This is a weak close, and therefore we are looking to continue to sell. We don't have any buy signal in the Aussie. As you can see, it's already closing a very normal close, and it is very weak. This here, we still have probably the initial target for us to come down would be around the 98.72, and the 98.72 is now our new structure point. So it's 98.71. let me set it up. So my next target is the 98.71 and we closed at 99.71, so we have at least 100 pips for it to go down before we are going, or before we need to make another decision. So we're looking at the 98.71, and you don't want to be taking profit with the 98.71. You want it to slide down to see if it's going to come down to the 96. Okay, that's the Aussie. Let's take a look at the Euro, because these are the weak ones. I'm looking at all the weak ones that happened from last week. This is the Euro, and as you know, we had the structure point of the 138.36. That was our structure point that we picked up from last week. I mean, that has been, the 138.36 is based upon the index, based on the cash, spot cash, based upon the index is 138.11. You see the close that we had, it's now closing at 135.13, and we should be looking for it to retest the second structure to the downside. The close that we had, 135.13, is a decent close. You're still looking a weak close. You're looking for continuation to the downside. So I have the Euro week, I have the Aussie week. Okay, let's see the Japanese yen. As you can see here, the Japanese yen has been going up the last couple of days of the week, or for the last week it's been going up. If I change it to a daily chart, this is a weekly chart. What do you think of this, guys? What do you think of this close here? We said that the Euro is weak, and we said that the Australian is weak. Yes, this is a major sell signal. That what you see there is a major sell signal. That pull-up trading above 1, 2, 3, 4 days high. It traded above 4 days high, and then it failed, and it turned around and it closed back below 1, 2, 3, 4 days high. That is a weak close. I mean, this high is 129.88. So the 5-day high is 129.88. I'm sorry. And we closed at 130. So we are about 12 exactly, Mark. You want exactly, so we want it to trade. We have 12 ticks before our selling point. So we have the yen now, the one that's giving us a real sell signal, and we'll be looking at to take it as in July. What is the July month? We'll see. I don't know which July you're talking about, but And we have also here, look at this, we have another structure point on the index, and this is setting up to be really nice, guys. This is 129.57. Okay, so what we have is 129.88, and we have another here. You see the distance between those two lines. You got a structure point of 129.57, and right above it we have a sell signal which is coming from the daily chart, from the red candle over here at 129.88. So you have two signals, yes, regardless of intervention. You have, if we trade below the 129.88, you will be taking short, and you're looking for it to trade below 129.57. And as I said, regardless of intervention and Murtaza. Okay? So the yen is setting up for a very big sell signal. And guys, you place your stop. You're not going to take the yen overnight. You're not going, but before they intervene, Murtaza, where will they intervene? No, I want you to understand this, why I'm saying when somebody says something, you need to take it with a grain of salt. Why is he saying that? Now, yes, I'm telling you not to disregard intervention. Where do you think the Japanese will intervene? If you look at this chart, will they intervene when the Japanese is right there? Or will they intervene when the Japanese is here? Where will they intervene, Murtaza? Yes, they can intervene right there. So what I'm saying is you're going to be selling in the direction of the intervention. The intervention, they are intervening to bring it down to 126. The intervention is going to support your trade. It's not going to be against you, it's going to be with you if they intervene. You got it? So that's the, now we take the British pound. It's okay. Also, guys, if you look at the British pound, the index and the British pound, you see that we have been a weak week. We had a very weak week last week in the British pound, and we had some buying coming into the pound, or weakness into US dollar, and then this is the upside down pattern of that we had in the US dollar. The US dollar has a selling and it has a tail to the downside, so this is a negative for the pound. And again, this is a sell signal because it came below 1 day high, 2 day high, and 3 days low. So I have a sell signal on the pound, I have a sell signal on the Japanese yen, I have a sell signal on the Australian, and I have a sell signal on the euro, and I have a buy signal on the US dollar. So the plan of action would be the US dollar I'd say I have 3 buys on the US dollar, and I have the Japanese yen is weak. Also the British pound here, I have a sell signal on the British pound, and I have a weak signal on the Australian dollar. So I'm still looking to sell because we have a selling position in the Australian, and the one that I didn't do yet is the Swiss franc. So let me do the Swiss franc and see what. as you see also the Swiss franc, we also have a sell signals coming below those 2 days highs, and we need to put the CR structure point. This here is a beautiful setup here, the 107.49. Now keep in mind that the Swiss Central Bank, the Swiss National Bank, has been in the market, if you will, giving news that they might. I mean, again, it's like the Japanese yen; they're going to weaken the Swiss franc. So, if they intervene, then they're going to weaken it. But they are looking at. They've been saying that they're looking at pegging the Swiss franc to the euro at 125. So this means we have another 100 or 150 basis point for the Swiss franc to come down. So having said that, as you can see, we also have a sell signal, but I want the Swiss to go below the 107 structure point. So if we go back now to our charts and looking at strength or weakness, let's do the Canadian also, because this is the last one. The Canadian has a sell signal. The Canadian is weird, I mean, it's not. If you look at the Canadian dollar, on Friday, see this candle here, this green candle, the one with the tail to the upside. While on Friday it has moved up, it has traded, as you see on this day, it traded below the previous 2 days low. There was no follow through to the downside. It came back and it started going up, and this was a buy signal, and it's moved up, took out the previous daily high, put the high of the day, and then it failed and it sold off and closed the day at 97.33. So we had a buy signal early in the morning, and that was when the dollar was weakening, and then it flipped around, and then it gave back and came down, and it gave us a sell signal. So this also is very weak. And yes, Marco, we are looking at the Euro Swiss. Absolutely, we'll be looking at the Euro Swiss. So the Canadian has a sell signal, a major sell signal. The yen has a major sell signal. The Swiss franc has a major sell. All the currencies have all major sell signals against the US dollar. So the way we will be looking at it, we will be looking at buying the dollar, and we're looking at selling the euro. So the dollar is going to be 3 pluses. The euro is negative. The pound is negative. The Japanese yen is negative. The Canadian is negative, and the Australian is negative. All of them has the same level of weakness, and I mean, based on their chart patterns, they are all similarly weak, because all of them have given us this head fake that you see over here. We had a sell-off in the dollar first, and then a reversal at the end of the day. So all of them had a buy in the beginning of the morning, and then we had a reversal toward the end of the day. So they're all basically equally weak. So we are going to focus today on the US dollar, and we're going to take it against the euro and the British pound and the Swiss franc. We're going to see with the Japanese yen. We're also going to take the Euro Swiss. We're going to take the British, the pound Swiss. We're going to look at the Aussie yen, we're going to look at the pound yen. Okay, and we're going to see them because again, I don't have the clarity of the different. They're all